Okie dokie. Do you often break your suspensor belts every time you go out on a trip? I have. So today I wanted to talk about suspensor belt durability and how that functions, as well as talk about the different suspensor belts, because some are horrifying and some are pretty good. But let's talk about the test first. And what we're going to do is check two different things. So there's two theories about how suspensor belt durability works, right? There's the theory that durability drains as you're holding the suspensor. Then there's another theory that durability is drained per activation of the suspensor. So we need to see which one it is. The easy way to check this is just to fall twice, each with a different leap belt, and then on one, hold it all the way down, and on the other, just spam activations all the way down. And that'll give us a pretty fucking clear answer on which is which. Jump, and then fall all the way down to this corner of my base over here. I'm actually surprised my power pack is letting me do this. I didn't think it would, frankly. Okay, so that's one. All right, now we're going to feather tap on the way down. Okay. The long hold fall is at 96, and the spam activations is at 99. Okay. So when it comes to efficient use of your suspensor belts, if you're trying to break a fall at least, or depending on what suspensor belt you're using, I guess, it is more efficient to feather tap the shit rather than hold it. But what belt is right for you? Because some suck fine anus, whereas others are really good. When it comes to the passive belt is an automatic belt. You have no manual control over it, ever, and it kicks in whenever you're going to reach a speed that would result in fall damage. However, that is obviously a problem since, as we just discussed, when it comes to belt efficiency, the best way to use a belt is with feather tapping. And given that it is automatic, you have no control over it, it's always going to be a held descent whenever it's used, meaning the durability is going to go to shit. However, just because it's a descent belt only, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't use it to go upwards. Normally, when you do climbing, if you jump upwards, you just jump up a little bit and climb again. With suspensor belts, you can climb glide, in a sense, to jump and then keep gliding before you grapple onto the wall again. Despite the passive belt only kicking in when you reach those descent speeds, you are able to use it to climb glide, but do note that once you activate a climb glide, it stays on permanently until you reach the ground. So just be careful where you use that, because if you climb glide at the top of a cliff and then it drains your power all the way down, you're going to be out of power by the time you reach the point on the ground that you normally would have needed it to kick in and save you. Then the planar and the responsive belts. These two achieve the exact same thing. So I'm going to equip the responsive belt first. Neither of them will let you climb glide, because if you try to, it'll just hold your horizontal position, but that is what they are meant to do. If you have a bunch of upward or downward momentum, it will completely break your fall and hold you horizontally. Afterwards, you can reposition in any which direction you would like. The difference between planar and responsive is that responsive lets you reposition faster, and the planar is just a little bit slower. There is technically a trooper passive that sort of works like this if you want to use this to stabilize yourself in the air and get the death from above damage bonus, but if you were to actively use this in PvP, you can get that damage bonus, but you also put yourself on a nice horizontal line for people to shoot you on. In conclusion, I can't personally recommend ever using the responsive or planar sets. Now for the leap set. The leap belt is easily my favorite. All around, just best to use, feels the least shit. You can use it to break your fall. It will be affected by gravity, but it will slow you down as well. And then if you're ever going to go upwards, it will help you go upwards that way as well. Unlike the full belt, if you ever use your belt at the apex of a jump, it won't let you hold your position in the middle of the air. Gravity will still eventually pull you down, and that's where the difference comes in for the full belt, because the full belt will help sustain any momentum in any direction that you have. So if I use my belt at the apex of a jump, oh, come on, there we go, it will help me hold that momentum without gravity pulling me down. And even though I tried to use it at the top so I could hold still, I technically had a tiny bit of upward momentum, and that's why it's pushing me upwards slightly. However, the momentum assist of the full belt is way greater than the leap belt. So if you care about getting height, this is definitely the one to use, as you can go really fucking far with this shit. Goddamn. And again, you can still use it to help break your descent. And then more or less, I think that's it. Just be sure to share with your friends. Please stop using your suspensor belt, holding it all the way down whenever you're flying. Feather tap away, and you will be breaking your belts way less often, because holy shit, that is probably the thing I repair the most.